Hey viewers, welcome to African Tales by Affy. Please kindly click the subscribe button to get notified for more amazing stories. In the bustling city of Edo, a young girl named Keto lived under the roof of her unkind uncles. She had once known love and happiness, but all that was taken from her when her parents died in a terrible car accident. Since then, life had been nothing but hardship. Every morning, Keto woke up before the sun rose to do all the household chores. She washed clothes, swept the compound, and prepared meals, yet her uncles never showed her any kindness. They would shout at her for the smallest mistakes and never gave her enough food to eat. One evening, as she sat outside looking at the stars, her uncle, Udo, called out to her. "Keto, why are you sitting there uselessly? Go inside and fetch my slippers," he barked. Keto quickly got up, her heart heavy. She longed for a life where she was treated with love and respect. But who would save her? She was just an orphan with no one to turn to. The only thing that kept Keto going was her dream. She wanted to become a lawyer. She had seen many people in Edo suffer because they had no one to fight for them. She wanted to be different. But how could she, when her uncles never even allowed her to go to school? One night, after enduring another day of insults and punishments, Keto made a bold decision. She was 20 years old enough to take control of her own life. She would run away. The next morning, before the sun had fully risen, Keto packed a small bag with the little money she had managed to save. She tiptoed out of the house and ran as fast as she could, leaving behind the home that had never given her love. Life on the streets was not easy. Keto slept on benches and did small jobs, washing clothes, sweeping shops, and carrying loads at the market. For 3 long years, she struggled, saving every naira she earned. At last, she had saved 3 million naira, enough to apply to university. Her dream of becoming a lawyer was finally within reach. One day, while she was working at a food stall, she met a boy named Chucks. He was 16, bright, and full of ambition. "Why do you look so tired?" he asked as Keto wiped sweat from her forehead. "I've been working all day," she replied. "I have a dream to chase." Chuck's eyes lit up. "What's your dream?" Keto smiled for the first time in days. "I want to be a lawyer." Chucks grinned. "Me too. I want to help people who cannot fight for themselves." They talked for hours that day, sharing their hopes and struggles. Keto found comfort in Chuck's words, and soon they became the best of friends. As the months passed, their friendship blossomed into love. Chucks admired Keto's strength, and Keto admired Chuck's determination. They promised each other that one day, they would both become lawyers and change the world together. But Keto faced a difficult choice. She had saved enough money for herself, but Chucks had nothing. He had no way to pay for his school fees. Seeing his passion for law, Keto made a decision that would change her life forever. She would give Chucks her savings so he could go to university first. She would wait and continue working, then apply after he graduated. Chucks was shocked when Keto told him her plan. "Keto, you can't do this. This is your dream too." Keto held his hands and smiled. "Chucks, dreams are not meant to be chased alone. I believe will never forget what you've done for me. One day, we will stand side by side as lawyers." Keto smiled, trusting that Chuck's meant every word. She did not know what the future held, but at that moment, she was certain of one thing: she loved Chuck's, and she would do anything to see him succeed. And so, Keto gave away her 3 million naira, placing her dreams in the hands of the boy she loved. With Keto's sacrifice, Chuck's began his journey through university. Keto watched him with pride, knowing that her struggles had not been in vain. Every time he called, he would tell her about his classes, his professors, and how much he was learning. "Keto," he said one evening over the phone, "I can't thank you enough. You've changed my life." Keto smiled, gripping the phone tightly. "Just study hard, Chucks. Make it all worth it. I promise, I will. And when I graduate, it'll be your turn. I'll work day and night to pay your fees." Keto believed him. After all, Chucks was not just her love, he was her best friend. Years passed, and Chucks grew busier. His calls became shorter, then less frequent. At first, Keto understood. School was demanding, and he needed to focus. But when weeks turned into months without a word from him, worry crept into her heart. One evening, she decided to visit him at the university. With a basket of his favorite homemade snacks, she took the long journey to campus, excited to surprise him. She knocked on the door of his dormitory. A young man opened it. "Hello, I'm looking for Chucks." The student frowned. "Chucks? Oh, you mean Charles? He moved out. He lives in town now." Keto's heart skipped a beat. "Town?" The student hesitated. Yes, with his girlfriend." The basket nearly slipped from her hands. "Girlfriend?" "Yes, a wealthy woman named Miriam." Keto felt the world spin around her. "Where can I find him?" The student gave her an address, and Keto rushed there, her mind filled with questions. When she arrived at the grand apartment building, she hesitated. Could it be true? Could Chucks have forgotten her? She took a deep breath and knocked. A beautiful woman in a flowing gown opened the door. "Yes?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. Keto swallowed hard. "I'm looking for Chucks." The woman smirked. "Ah, you must be Keto." Keto's breath caught in her throat. She knew her name? Before she could respond, Chucks appeared behind Miriam, dressed in fine clothes, looking nothing like the struggling boy she once knew. "Keto?" His voice was filled with surprise, but not the joy she had expected. Keto's eyes filled with tears. "Chucks, what is going on?" Chucks sighed, rubbing his temple. "Keto, I didn't want you to find out this way." Keto's hands trembled. "Find out what?" Miriam chuckled. "That he has moved on." Keto turned back to Chucks, shaking her head. "Tell me this is a lie. Tell me you haven't abandoned me after everything I did for you." Chucks looked away. "Things have changed, Keto. I have changed. I can't be with you anymore." Keto took a long time ago. Keto's heart shattered. I sacrificed my future for you. Chucks didn't need her eyes. I'm sorry, Keto, but I got grown-ups. Tears streamed down her face. Chucks, you are the reason I never gave up. And now, you're throwing me away? Miriam wrapped an arm around Chucks. I think you should leave now. Chucks and I have a dinner to attend. Keto felt the weight of betrayal crush her. Without another word, she turned and walked away, leaving behind the love she had fought so hard to protect. As she stepped into the cold night, one thought echoed in her mind. Was love truly this cruel? Months turned into years, and Keto continued working tirelessly to support herself while Chucks attended university. She took on more jobs, barely resting, as she eagerly awaited the day Chucks would graduate and fulfill his promise. At first, Chucks wrote her letters every week, telling her about his classes and how grateful he was. But as time went on, the letters became fewer, and his words less affectionate. Keto convinced herself that he was just busy with studies. One evening, after finishing a long shift at the market, she decided to surprise Chucks at his university. She had been saving little by little, and she finally had enough to take a short trip to see him. Her heart was filled with excitement as she imagined the joy on his face. However, when she arrived, she found something she never expected. Chucks was with another woman, a wealthy and elegant lady named Miriam. She watched in shock as he laughed and held Miriam's hand, acting as if Keto had never existed. Tears filled her eyes as she stepped forward. Chucks, what is going on? Chuck's smile faded as he turned to see Keto standing there. His face showed guilt, but only for a moment before he regained his composure. Keto, you shouldn't have come, he said, avoiding her gaze. Keto's heart pounded. I gave you everything, Chucks. My money, my time, my love. And this is how you repay me? Miriam looked between them, confusion on her face. What is she talking about, Chucks? Chucks sighed, rubbing his forehead. It's nothing, Miriam. Keto was just an old friend. Keto felt as if her world was shattering. An old friend? Chucks, you promised me. You said we would become lawyers together. That you would help me. Chucks looked at her, but his eyes were cold. Keto, I've changed. I've grown. You and I, we come from different worlds now. Keto felt the ground slip beneath her. But I loved you, she whispered. Chuck sighed again. Love isn't enough, Keto. I have to think about my future. And my future is with Miriam. Miriam, now understanding the situation, looked at Chucks with disappointment. You mean to tell me that this woman paid for your education? Chucks looked away, ashamed but unwilling to admit his wrongdoing. Miriam shook her head. I can't believe this, she muttered before walking away, leaving him standing there. Keto wiped her tears, her sadness slowly turning into anger. You will regret this, Chucks. Chucks scoffed. I doubt that. But deep inside, he felt uneasy. Keto sat in the courtroom, her heart pounding as the judge prepared to deliver his verdict. The past past few months had been a whirlwind of emotions, but this moment was the culmination of all her sacrifices and pain. She watched as Chuck stood before the court, his once confident demeanor replaced by fear and shame. The court has reviewed the evidence and finds the defendant, Chuck's, guilty of breach of promise and financial deceit, the judge declared. The defendant is hereby ordered to repay the sum of 3 million naira to Miss Quito. Failure to do so will result in imprisonment. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. Chuck's parents clutched each other, their faces filled with horror. Quito, on the other hand, felt a mix of victory and sorrow. She had won, but at what cost? As the guards approached Chuck's to take him away, he turned to Quito with pleading eyes. "Please, Quito. I never meant to hurt you." Quito's heart ached, but she remained silent. He had made his choices, and now he had to face the consequences. Outside the courtroom, Miriam placed a comforting hand on Quito's shoulder. "You did the right thing, Quito. You gave him everything, and he threw it away. Justice had to be served." Quito nodded but couldn't shake the sadness in her heart. She had once loved Chucks with all her being, and now he was paying the price for his betrayal. Days turned into weeks, and Quito focused on her studies, determined to make something of herself. With Miriam's support, she enrolled in law school, working tirelessly to build a future she had once put on hold for Chucks. Meanwhile, in prison, Chucks suffered greatly. The reality of his actions weighed heavily on him. He had lost Quito, his future, and now his freedom. His once proud parents were unable to pay his debts, and his younger brother, Azu, had fallen into bad company, drinking and smoking to escape their family's disgrace. One evening, Quito sat by her dormitory window, staring at the moon. Despite everything, she couldn't ignore the guilt creeping into her heart. Had she done the right thing? Had she let anger cloud her judgment? The next morning, she made a decision. She would visit Chucks in prison. As she stepped into the prison visitor's room, she barely recognized the man who sat across from her. Chucks had lost weight, his eyes hollow with regret. "Quito," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I'm so sorry." Quito took a deep breath. "I didn't come here for apologies, Chucks. I came to ask, do you regret everything?" Tears streamed down Chuck's face. "More than anything in this world." Quito looked at him for a long moment before making the hardest decision of her life. "I'm dropping the charges," she said softly. Chuck's eyes widened. "Why?" "Because I refuse to let your mistakes define me," she replied. "I won't let hatred control my heart." As Quito walked away, she felt a weight lift off her shoulders. She had chosen mercy over revenge. But was it the right choice? The news of Quito's decision spread quickly. Many were shocked. Why would she drop the charges against the man who had betrayed her? But Quito knew in her heart that mercy was not weakness. She had worked hard to find justice, and now she had the power to show kindness as well. Days later, Chucks was released from prison. He emerged a changed man, frail and humbled by his experiences. With no money, no family, and no home to return to, he wandered the streets, consumed by regret. One evening, Chuck stood outside Keto's law school, hesitant. He watched from a distance as she laughed with her friends, her life moving forward while his head crumbled. He had lost her forever, and he knew it was his own doing. Miriam noticed him first. "Keto," she said, nudging her. "Look who's here." Keto turned and met Chuck's eyes. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then, slowly, she walked towards him. "Why are you here, Chucks?" she asked softly. Chucks lowered his gaze. I just wanted to see you. To thank you. You had every right to let me rot in prison, but you didn't." Keto sighed. "I didn't do it for you, Chucks. I did it for myself. Holding on to anger would have only hurt me more." Tears welled in Chuck's eyes. "I lost everything, Keto. My parents died while I was locked away. Asu, he's lost, running the bad company. I have nothing left." Keto studied him for a long moment, then started again. Chucks looked up at her, confused. "How? You made mistakes, Chucks. But if you truly regret them, then do something good with your life. Help your brother, find honest work, and rebuild yourself." Chucks swallowed hard. "Do you think I can?" Keto nodded. "It's never too late to change." With that, she turned and walked away, leaving Chucks to his thoughts. Months passed. Keto focused on her studies, excelling in her law classes. She had found happiness again, and with Temmie by her side, she felt hopeful for the future. One day, while walking home from school, she saw someone selling newspapers on the street. To her surprise, it was Azu. He looked healthier, his clothes cleaner. He caught her staring and smiled shyly. "Keto," he greeted. She walked up to him. "Azu, you look well." He nodded. "Chuck's helped me. He's been working as a carpenter, trying to earn an honest living. He told me to stay away from bad company." Keto felt warmth in her heart. "That's good to hear." Azu hesitated before saying, "He talks about you a lot, you know. He wants to be a better man because of you." Keto smiled. "Then I hope he finds his way." As she walked away, she felt a sense of peace. Life had not been easy, but she had survived. She had learned the power of forgiveness and the strength of letting go. With her dreams still ahead of her and love by her side, Keto stepped into the future, stronger, wiser, and ready for whatever came next. Hello tribe, hope we enjoyed today's story. Please kindly put what you've learned in the comments section. Please remember to hit the like button, share this to your friends and family, as well as subscribe to see you on the next one. Bye.